goes there?
A friend of the temple.
Fluaurak. The Council's message was absolute. You're not welcome here.
I must speak with the Grand Master.
He's in session. They all are. Another day, perhaps.
King Philip disagrees.
Damn you, man. Why you're not rotting in a cell at this moment, I cannot fathom.
We are betrayed. Draw your swords, men. Defend the temple. Not you, brother. I have a different task for you. Come with me.
King Philip's moving faster than we expected.
Another hand is at work here.
Pope?
The assassins.
Assassins? I thought the Mongol Khans broke their power decades ago.
The assassins are far older than Masyaf, my friend. Their anarchic delusions are virulent as the plague, less easily eradicated. We will not prevail this night. If you make haste, we may yet save our order.
What must I do?
Go to the tower. Take the sword and the book. Hide them. They must not fall into the assassins' hands.
Grandmaster,
Go!
I will.
Hold the bridge! Hold!
Down! I have to take a different way.
Stop him! Don't let him through!
The tower! They've breached the tower! They've taken the...
Pope Clement, hear me? Before this year is out, you will answer for your crimes before God Almighty! And you, King Philip, no punishment is too heinous for the great evil you have inflicted upon the temple! I curse you! Curse you to the 13th generation of your blood! You shall be cursed!
Consumed in flames of hunger and wrath, thus came the age of true wisdom to a blistering close. The Knights Templar, once the proud shepherds of order, peace, and illumination, were no more.
Yeah, let's get a sniffer running. If Abstergo pings us, pull me out. Okay. I have a visual. Hey there. This is probably disorienting, so I'll be brief. I'm Bishop, not my real name, obviously, but that's as much as you'll get today. Please listen carefully. Abstergo is using you, hijacking your neurons to help them sift through genetic memory data. These guys have their fingers in countless corporations, governments, media outlets, and NGOs. But now, they want control over history itself. If that doesn't frighten you, it should. But we're here to stop them, and I need your help. Deacon, preload gene sequence, AD16B13 I87.
Yep, spooling it up.
Last week, we gained access to a bank of unsequenced memories in Abstergo's Helix servers. For now, we'd like you to experience a small sample. This should help you understand our struggle. And after that, you can decide for yourself what comes next. We'll be waiting.
Arno.
Can't I go with you, Father?
Courage, my boy. You wait just here. I will return when this hand reaches the top.
That's forever.
Not as long as all that. And when I get back, we'll see the fireworks. And Arno, no exploring, hmm?
Yes, Father.
You'd rather sit with that old prune? Come on. This way. Aren't you?
Assembling pig!
Quickly, quickly. Allez. Bet you can't steal one.
Thief! Put that back!
Ease for His Royal Highness.
I grow tired of this, citizen.
Hurry, through here. Did you see their faces when we stole those apples?
I'm Arno.
Elise.
I'm here with my father.
So am I. He has important business with the king.
What should we do now?
Shh. Listen. Don't worry, they'll never think to look for us in here.
It was my fault. I'm the one who took the apple.
Let's see where they're going.
Monsieur Franklin, I sincerely hope this unfortunate affair does not darken your opinion of our nation.
Monsieur, if we judged nations by the character of
Elise.
their criminals,
Father?
we should all be called...
Come here, girls, now.
Father?
Come away, boy.
Arno. Arno. Look at me.
Can't win fairly at cards, so you stoop to thieving, you bastard!
Calm down, Victor. I've only come for my watch.
It's my watch. I want it fairly.
Well, in a just world, Victor, I would agree with you, but this is not a just world. This is France.
You're a dead man.
Oh, step lightly there. You'll hurt yourself. I just had a nice chat with your brother.
You go. Fetch the marshals.
Hold on a minute. Diable.
I've got it, Victor.
La parole. Qu'est-ce qui t'arrive?
I say.
Sorry.
Pardon, madam. Gentlemen, please, we can come to an understanding. Please, excuse him, he's not housebroken. Thick-headed blacksmith like you probably can't even read a watch.
Come over here and say that.
No.
Get back here! Au voleur!
Quelle mouche les a?
Ah, yes. A wise man knows when to admit defeat, Victor.
And where in God's name have you been?
Ha! Got you now, you little shit!
Just a little misunderstanding. Nothing to...
Your master's harboring a common criminal. In broad daylight, he broke into my home and stole my watch.
Did he indeed? Well, I'm sure the Marshalsea would be more than willing to sort this out.
Sort what out, Olivier?
A most serious accusation against your ward, sir.
He robbed me.
Of what, precisely? Wait for me in my library.
Don't give me that look. Victor cheats when he plays Pharaoh. Everyone knows it.
Arno? Who are you talking to?
No one, monsieur.
You'll be happy to learn I persuaded Olivier to leave off calling the Marshalsea. Again.
Je vous remercie, monsieur.
What is this? The 6th time? The 7th? Perhaps a new hobby might be better for your health.
Well, I find playing cards affords many opportunities for fresh air and exercise.
We'll talk about this later. I have business in town and must collect Elise before I can attend to it.
Elise is here?
Only for the night. She returns to Paris first thing tomorrow.
She'll need an escort, won't she, with you so preoccupied?
One of you running amok is quite enough. Remain here and see if Olivier has any chores for you.
I'm sure he does.
What was that?
Give my regards to Elise.
J'avais commandé un vin d'Anjou pour le... Elle est sans doute fort dévouée.
Nous sommes d'accord.
Vous seriez surpris.
Thrown out onto the street yet?
Oh, you would love that, wouldn't you?
It'd break my heart.
Olivier, if I weren't here, who'd do all your work for you?
The horses need brushing, boy. Get to it.
Certainement, monsieur.
Sire de la Serre, wait!
Nom de Dieu. Nom de Dieu, nom de Dieu. Some trouble, mon ami?
A letter for Sire de la Serre. It's very important.
Oh, calm yourself, Perrault. That letter won't reach Monsieur de la Serre any faster if you drop dead of exhaustion. Give it here. I'll catch
You
him.
must receive it today. It's very...
Very important. Yes, I heard you the first time. I'll see that he gets it.
Monsieur de la Serre! Stop!
Bad luck, lad. You'll have to go
Make
around.
way, make way!
All over.
What was that?
Damn it, slow down!
Apparently, walnut is a popular finish this season. Who is driving this coach? Pelops?
Arrêtez! Monsieur de la Serre!
Mes excuses. Wrong carriage. What I need is a bird's eye view.
There you are.
Autant de cervelle ça suffit.
Répétition et reconnu pour son efficacité. Alors voyons voir. Il fallait mieux articuler, cher ami. Il fallait préparer. Soit. Restons en... Messieurs. Alors, il fallait mieux articuler, cher ami. Pas étonnant que le professeur Chartier le coupe du regard. Restons-en là. Ah, ça, c'est censé.
L'intervalle s'était écoulé depuis les dernières tenues des États généraux. Une fois que la convocation... Je n'ai pas balancé à rétablir un usage dont le royaume peut tirer une nouvelle force.
Where the devil are they?
La dette de l'État, déjà immense à mon avènement au trône, s'est encore accrue sous mon règne. L'augmentation en a été la suite nécessaire et a rendu plus sensible leur inégale répartition. Une inquiétude se sont emparés des esprits et finiraient par égarer totalement, ont montré à renoncer à leurs privilèges pécuniaires.
Oh, these two
L'espérance
again.
que j'ai
Must have tailed me from the estate.
de voir tous les ordres réunis de sentiments concourir avec moi au bien général de l'État ne sera point trompé.
So, who or what will take its place? Another king? A council of capable men?
That is the question, isn't it?
A truce, then.
What the devil was that about? Now, we can resolve this without recourse to violence, can't we?
Get him, Hugo!
I suppose not.
Get him, Hugo!
Easy, big fella.
Get him, Hugo! Let's see. Teach you to stop. think you can steal from me?
Not your day, is it, Victor? To your health, gentlemen.
You, boy! Stop! What are you doing there?
Running!
He's getting away!
Je me raconterai la suite des événements.
Étrange manière de faire de l'exercice.
No getting back in there now. Catch them back at home, I suppose.
S'il continue, il va se rompre le cou.
Pourquoi ce revirement soudain?
Client.
Bienvenue dans mon échoppe.
Ce que j'essaie de dire, c'est que je suis conscient de la situation, mais je ne peux rien y changer.
Je pourrais le regarder tout.
Utile à la fin.
Bonsoir, Olivier. Has Monsieur de la Serre returned?
Senor de la Serre is not expected until late.
Ah, well. I suppose I'll just pass the time with Elise, then.
Don't get your hopes up just yet. Mademoiselle is at a private soiree in her honor at the palace.
A party? I wasn't invited.
Neither were the horses.
I'm sure she just misplaced my invitation. I'll find my own way in. How late is late?
Perhaps an hour, perhaps 3, perhaps not at all. I do not question the comings and goings of my betters.
I'll just wait here, then.
Soyez honnête, mon bon.
C'est une tradition passée.
Si vous êtes charmé, je ne peux pas être...
I could just slip it under the door. He'd see it the instant he returned.
Hop, hop.
There. Safe and sound, and only slightly delayed. And now, to the palace. I couldn't sneak through a sewer in these threads, much less a ball. Here, here, mon ami. Let me take care of that.
Thank you, young man.
Maximilien Robespierre. No guest.
Arno. Le Chevalier du Télème.
Invitation, s'il vous plaît.
About that, I had one, of course, but on the way...
No invitation, no admittance. Now clear the queue. Next, please. Charles Gabriel Siver. 2 guests. Next, please.
Quite the turnout. Quite.
What the hell?
Let's just put in a short appearance to be polite. I'm tired.
As you say.
Third estate practically up in arms, and they're having a party.
What's this party for, anyway?
Not sure. Some kind of confirmation ceremony for the De La Serre girl.
immediate shift change yet.
She does not.
She does. And to God, her wig had a birdcage in it. Little dove.
You up there! Stop! Get down! Will you let me back in if I do?
What? Certainly not!
Well then, if it's all the same to you, I think I'll stay up here.
You, come here! I'll see you in the garden later, yes? Of course.
Quite the turnout this evening.
I can't remember the last time we were all together like this.
It must have been that business with,
And I would thank you not to speak of that.
Madam.
M'accorderiez-vous cette danse pour gentilhomme?
Merci. Un autre jour.
For sure, the plebs would riot this afternoon.
King, new taxes are not a word of concession on the matter of representation.
Did you see what she's wearing?
Spread out.
What do you expect? She's half
I'll
savage.
not be made a mock of by the likes of him.
I hear she spends her night gambling in dockside bars. And that's the least of the
She always did love the chase.
You seem to have caused quite a commotion.
Well, what can I say? You were always a bad influence.
Oh, you were a worse one. Are you wearing one of my father's suits?
Are you wearing a dress?
Don't even start. I feel like a mummy wrapped up in this thing.
Must be quite an occasion to get you so fancy.
It's not like that. Truth be told, it's a lot of ceremony and pontification. Dull as dirt.
Well, when you don't invite me to your parties, everyone suffers.
I did try, but my father was adamant.
Your father?
Who's in there? Ouvrez!
Go. I'll distract them.
What? You're kicking me out?
It's complicated. I'll explain later, but for now, out the window.
Oh, no, no, no. You're not turning this into a repeat of that apple orchard.
Stop being such a baby. I'm sure there aren't any guard dogs this time. Go! Oh my! That wasn't the vending room at all, was it? Oh, I've been through different times there.
Could have been on party duty, but no. Waste of time. There's nobody out here. Who's even going to come out here?
10 to 1 I end the night cleaning this man's vomit off my shoes.
are the fresh ones?
You all right, monsieur? Too much of the king's champagne? Monsieur? Monsieur de la Serre! Monsieur de la Serre!
Sivir, come away! Guards! Help! Murder!
Bon Dieu, he's killed Lord de la Serre.
No, it wasn't me. Damian wielded the knife. Please, have mercy.
Gallia est omnis divisa in partes tres.
They're killing us! Oh God, have mercy! They're killing the prisoners in here!
That's enough of that, you degenerate!
Where am I?
In hell.
In bello parvis momentis magni casus in...
What are you staring at, pisspot? Don't bother me, boy. From where I'm sitting, I could kill you 7 ways. 12 if I had a spoon. If you snore, I'll strangle you in your sleep. That's fair warning. What?
Morti oferat, facilius reperiuntur, quam qui dolorem patientes
Welcome to your new home.
quae volumus et credimus et quae sentimus ipsi reliquos iris.
You should feel honored. These days, the Bastille is reserved for madmen, deviants, and traitors. So the question is, did you kill someone important or fuck someone important? Hmm?
Et quae sentimus ipsi reliquos sentire speramus.
Not that it makes much difference now. Here we're all well and truly fucked. Forget about escape. It's a fool's dream.
They're coming!
They're coming to kill us all!
Where'd you come by this, pisspot?
I'm in no mood for this. Give it back.
Take it back. If you think you can.
Let's go!
Stop wasting my time, pisspot. Well struck, pisspot. See if your defense is as good. So much effort for a broken antique.
The only broken antique in here is flapping his idiot jaw.
Say that again.
I've nothing more to say, old man. Give me what's mine, and go back to your crazy drawings, old man.
Drawings?
These here. Everywhere. Scribbled like chicken scratches all over this cell. Where?
Come here, you little pisspot.
Get your hands off me!
Look at the wall!
What are you doing?
Concentrate. Concentrate.
What are they?
Messages from the past. I had myself thrown into half the prisons in Paris in search of these. What's your name, boy?
Arno. Arno Victor Dorian.
Dorian. Of course. Pierre Belec. I knew your father.
Bully for you.
He died at Versailles. In what, 76? 77. December, as I recall, no witnesses.
How did you...
Your father was an assassin, Arno. He gave his life, fighting for the liberty of all mankind. You stick with me, you might just live long enough to join the Brotherhood. Honor your father's memory.
Listen, I'm sure your little cult is a delightful bunch, but I'm not interested. The only thing I care about is finding Elise.
How are you planning on doing that from in here? Again! Ow! Focus, pisspot.
What the hell is going on out there?
Citizens are restless. Keep an ear open. Opportunity might just come knocking soon.
That was cannon fire.
Sometimes opportunity sounds a lot like cannon fire.
Secure the prisoners!
Follow my lead. We haven't got all day.
All right. I'll find some water. Be patient for once.
Prisoners up against the wall.
On whose authority?
I told you this was going to end badly.
Silence! Stay back! Prisoners up against the wall. Stay back!
Rest in peace, corpse.
Right, let's get out of this shell.
You there! Hold on, this pop. Run like you mean it.
No matter what happens, stay close.
Get out of here! Hold on, damn ya! I'm coming. Lock!
Keep them off me for a bit, piss pop. One of them stabs me. I'll haunt you to your grave.
So slow!
Belek, is the door open?
Not quite.
We have a problem.
Find a solution.
Lovely.
No.
Belek?
Time now!
You've got to be kidding.
Got it!
Let's go, piss pop!
You and your trap.
Out the window. Come on.
No one's scared justice!
What the hell is that?
While the crowd has him occupied. This way! Fire! Fire, damn you! Stop the prisoners!
Citizens, hold them on nowhere to run prisoners.
Back in yourselves! Prisoners, hold!
Give up, there's nowhere to run.
Throw down your weapons! Stop right there! Yield! Drop your weapons!
Where now?
Up!
Brilliant. And how do we get down again?
Trust me! I surrender! I surrender! Follow me!
What are you waiting for, piss pot? It's time to jump.
What? Prison scrambled your brains, old man.
Drink took care of that a long time ago. Now get up here!
I can't, that's impossible.
Impossible? That's the purview of every assassin boy. If you can pluck your head out of your own arse, come find us. You'd make a great fit. Goodbye, piss pot!
You! Back away from the ledge!
Please? That's some welcome.
One can't be too careful. Not after what happened.
Elise,
Haven't you done enough to repay my father's kindness?
Elise, please. You can't believe I killed Monsieur de la Serre. Your father... He wasn't the man you thought he was. Neither of our fathers were.
I know exactly who my father was, Arno. And I know who yours was. I suppose it was inevitable. You an assassin. Me a Templar.
You?
Does that shock you? My father always meant for me to follow in his footsteps. Now all I can do is avenge him.
I swear to you, I had nothing to do with his death.
But you did.
No. No! By my life, I swear I didn't. Is that?
A letter intended for my father the day he was murdered. Read it.
Grandmaster de la Serre, I have learned through my agents that an individual within our order plots against you. I beg you to be on your guard at the initiation tonight. Trust no one, not even those you call friends. May the Father of Understanding guide you. L.
I found that on the floor of my father's room. Unopened.
I didn't know.
Neither did my father.
How could I have known?
Just go. Please.
What the devil is this supposed to mean?
You